everyone, my name is Gabriel Hood and welcome to a special video. Today, for the first time, we are going to do a triple presentation where I will compare and contrast the thrillers The Fugitive, Double Jeopardy, and Out of Time. So, let's get down to cases. In regards to plot structure, all three films have a main character who has been framed for a crime that they did not commit and must race against time to clear their name. Now, as I said before, The Fugitive immediately introduces the situation. Double Jeopardy has some expository scenes, but after like the first 20 minutes or so, we get in on the action. Whereas Out of Time has the biggest advantage because we introduce the characters, get to know them as we establish their motives behind everything that happens, and you invest in their outcome. Especially the desperation of Denzel Washington's character, as he is the main protagonist in Out of Time. Now, which protagonist did I root for the most? Dr. Richard Kimball, played by Harrison Ford, Libby Parsons, played by Ashley Judd, or Chief of Police Matt Lee Whitlock, played by Denzel Washington? That's a tricky one, folks, because let's see. Dr. Richard Kimball was framed for the murder of his wife and escaped custody to find the real killer, clear his name, and defend his wife's honor. Chief of Police Matt Lee Whitlock, his predicament was the result of his laundry list of piss-poor decisions, which include having an affair with his high school sweetheart who's married, while also going through a divorce with his own wife, tampering with evidence and obstruction of justice. He almost gets got, but is saved by his wife, who is a detective on the police force. So by process of elimination, I'm going to go with Libby Parsons because she had everything on the line. Not just her freedom, but she was framed for murder by her own husband who faked his death to begin with. So she was fighting not only for her freedom to prove her innocence, but also to reunite with her son, who was caught in the middle of the situation because of her husband's treacherous and scandalous behavior. Now, social context of all three movies. Now, Dr. Richard Kimball's predicament, we find out later in The Fugitive, was because he did an investigation on a prescription drug which he discovered to have detrimental effects on people, therefore would not get approval from the FDA. And one of his colleagues, falsified the reports and to keep it under wraps, arranged to have him killed. His wife was just mere collateral damage. But it was still two birds with one stone, because when his wife was murdered, he was wrongfully convicted for it. So they figured that with Richard Kimball out of the way, they could go unchecked. Only for Richard Kimball to be so determined, he uncovers the conspiracy and wins the day. Libby Parsons was married to an entrepreneur that we presume to have been under investigation for embezzlement. So he treacherously arranges to fake his own death, which gets Libby wrongfully convicted and sent to jail. Then he manipulates the situation even further by keeping their son distant from Libby. And again, in Out of Time, Denzel's character, Chief of Police Matt Lee Whitlock, his predicament was a result of him having an affair with his high school sweetheart, who was married, and he was also going through a divorce. But this one but Out of Time had more social context to it because see, Matt Lee Whitlock is not just the chief of police, he's a black man. And so is the primary antagonist, who again turns out to be his high school sweetheart. And that plays into a much more problematic power dynamic. Because black women have historically been demonized and dehumanized. And are always made to be the source of conflict for a black male protagonist. So Out of Time have more social context to it than we suspect. With it being a toss-up to Double Jeopardy, since Libby Parsons is in a rarity of female protagonists. And it borrows elements from The Fugitive with the theme of women empowerment. So it's a toss-up between Double Jeopardy and Out of Time in that regard. Now, filmmaking qualities, The Fugitive had everything going for it. Action sequences, suspenseful moments, dramatic moments, since Richard Kimball is mourning the loss of his wife, and even a few scenes of comic relief, mainly with Tommy Lee Jones' U.S. Marshal character chasing after him and dishing out one-liners. Double Jeopardy is a close second. Although it has more emphasis on suspense than action, although it has a healthy amount of it, Out of Time focuses almost completely on drama and suspense with a sprinkle of action so that you won't be bored. But of course it allows for an effective dramatic performance for Denzel Washington. So in regards to filmmaking quality, The Fugitive takes the cake. So overall, which film is better? It's still The Fugitive in regards to filmmaking quality, but at the same time, in regards to all three movies, they have the same plot, just different variations on it in different social contexts. Hope you enjoyed this video. See you later.